Okay, here we are, guys, with part two again. This is essentially group coaching, right? I'm explaining how to go through the process of the 1 hour lens, the 15-minute lens, the 5-minute lens, and then the algos at the very bottom of that ladder to set up your trades, right? So, welcome to part two. Let us jump on. Hold on one second. My headset on. Let's see if this is better. There we go. You should be able to hear me much, much better now. Hopefully, I will check the audio levels after I do this video, but if there's a problem, please leave a message in the comments. Okay, so now you'll see, right, this wick, continuing from last video, sets up this wick for the long. Now, I want to show you something. This is a B grade setup. There's nothing wrong with it. It just simply didn't close below the wick or the bar to the left, and I need a way to distinguish it. So A grade is a physical close below. B grade is a close in and then a reverse with the algo. They're both good trades. The A and the B don't distinguish where the trade is. But I want to point something else out to you. If I wanted to short, if I got long here, right, my target becomes the last swing. So I'm trying to help you set up both sides of the trade. If I get long here, my target's right here, that 58.61 roughly, right, from 58.46. I'm trying to show y'all how to lay out the trade and get the extensions beyond the initial scalp as well. Same thing here. So see how I came over here and came in? So now I'm going to create a zone. Now my target is 58.57 to 58.60. Let's say for some reason I wanted to short that, right? I see that as a trap back in and I wanted to short, which again I want to reiterate, longs better than shorts. But let's say I wanted to short it. This wick right here, right? This wick right here tells me that I can look for aggressive trades in here to the short side if that is within my trading parameter and I'm willing to accept the risks that come with shorting. So now let's move to 6:30, which set up our longs for the day. We get a news bomb, and obviously that news bomb right here. So the first thing that we can see is that this bar closes below, triggering a potential long, right? And you see two things. Even if the long got triggered, right, it traded back in, backside tested this body of this bar and the body of this bar, and then rejected, right? So now we're going to move along to looking for the long. We go, oh, a news bomb hit. So how would I figure out, right? How would I figure out, besides just straight out using algos, figure out how to get long in this particular situation, right? And so what I would do is first thing I would do is come over to the hourly chart. Same process on NQ, exact same process, right? And I'm going to pull this chart in. And I want to see what was over to the left. So I have a couple of things. I have a prior day's low. Excuse me. I have a prior day's low here. I'm going to mark them off. Prior day's low here. This is just RTH. A 24-hour low, right? And so what that tells me here is, number one, once I clear this 58.05, right, 58.05.75, I want to start looking for my long setups. The other thing is, I want to see how this is the last place. Why do I pick this area specifically instead of just in the middle of the bar or halfway back or a fib? Okay, and I can tell you, okay, see right in here, this down bar, the gray bars are down bars in my algo. So this bar right here, that area had a seller in it. This market gapped up and there was a seller, and this is, so I know the bar's down, but that top part had the buyers that got the most strongly rejected. They're stuck, right? And you can see when it came back on the hourly that it rejected out of there. See how I had a consolidation in there? And then it finally broke out to the upside, right? So I know, right in here, that there's the potential for stuck buyers, or excuse me, stuck sellers, and sellers that get stuck then turn into buyers, right? Because if you shorted this, you're like, hey, this is great, right? And then they get left behind and the market has a muscle memory. So that becomes a zone, right? There's really nothing else to the left. The prime location for me would have been a close below 57.35, and we didn't get that. It was just a bridge too far. Okay, so that's how I would have had to figure that out. The next piece is I can tell quite early from the wick, see these are down bars, and see how long the wicks are? I know there's responsive buyers starting right here. Well, just on this one bar, starting at 57.75 down to 57.69, I can tell that there are responsive buyers there. I can see it in the wick, right? So now I'm going to go over from that hourly point of view, right? And then I would come over here to the 15-minute and look in that same area because it's always going to look different on the 15-minute. So let's extend this to the right. Let's color it, excuse me, to the left. And we're going to extend line. Okay, now I'm going to come back to the last time. 57.75. So let's go back. Let's pull this in. And I can see that 57.75 was just in that straight rip up area, right? So now I have a picture on the 15-minute. I have a picture of the 1 hour. And on NQ, it actually set up nicer than it did on ES, right? So now I'm going to go back and look in my trap area. So this becomes important now. My first potential trap area from this level, this 57.75, is all the way up here at 58.05. That's my first trap level, so I'm going to color that a different color, red, so I know where to go look when I'm on the chart, right? Now I'm going to go to the end over here, and I'm going to highlight this area, and I'm going to see what the market looked like and how I could have traded that for the reversal on ES, okay? So now I'm going to come over to this ES chart, and I'm going to come into Friday morning. So remember, you're all seeing this always at once, right? And the reason I keep switching between the charts is I want to train my brain to have muscle memory, right? So this is that area right here. This is that area. There's my red line for my trap. Here's the bleed down, right? And I can see here. So I'm looking for, once I get into this area, right? Once I get into this area, I am looking for, so 58.05 begins my, hey, I'm in an area where I should be able to find a reversal. So go look at the algos that's set up below 58.05, okay? So first I want the white bar, green bars up, yellow dots up or stuff, or, and then lastly would be white bars up and stuff, right? So as I come down here, yellow dot trader. So guys in the room, if you turned on your yellow dot trader once we exceed this point, right, you are now looking at yellow dot up, okay? Just follow the bouncing ball, nothing over here. Yellow dot stuffed. Yellow dot up. Yellow dot stuffed. So now you have a picture, right? You can build, if you'll take a step back, and you'll build a portfolio. What happens when I get to an area of support on the 1 hour chart, and I have that marked off as my area of support? What do the reversals look like? Well, this evidence is pretty clear. You want a yellow dot on that freaking reversal, right? Especially if you're waiting prior to the trap. And that trap, by the way, is all the way up here at 58.05. This is another area I have trouble with and members in the room have trouble with, right? Look how far that 58.05 is off the bottom. But if you got bearish when we crossed that 58.05, right? Look how hard a time you had at getting any kind of short extension, right? So I want to show you this, okay? Watch. We reject off the 58.05 the first time in. Come back down. There's your green bar up off support, and that's also the first hour low. Yellow dot up. Where do those both end up heading? Back to the 58.05. Now, what you're looking for, I want to show you. So Simon, how do I know it's trapped? Right, we've gotten to 58.05. We've closed above. Okay, so what I want to see is, to start with, I want to work this in reverse, right? The first thing is at 58.05, I want a 5-minute bar to close back in. Okay, so this bar right here, it's going to go in 2 stages. Bar 1, we are closed back in, but with a big wick. Bar 2, see how this bar that closed in had almost no wick on it, and this one had a big wick? That's going to end This bar that had almost no wick on the close back in is going to end the downside move. I know it comes back one more time, but then it takes off and it's going to hit our 58.37 level, which, if you'll notice, was our little consolidation at 6:30 in the morning right before we broke down. So what you should be seeing, guys, right? So I'm coaching you here. What you should be seeing is you're like, oh, I got into a major level of support on the 1 hour, this 57.82 to 57.56, right? So I didn't have to guess because I'm using smaller time frame bars so I can manage my risk. Very, very important. Stage 2 to getting the larger extension is I had to close back above 58.05. I'm telling you, here is where a lot of money is left on the table for us as a team and as individuals, okay? And that is when we get over here, you stop looking for the trap, or you have a hard time identifying, are we really trapped or not trapped? So if you really need to know, are we really trapped, on a 5-minute bar, it'll be an orthodox close back in. And once you get that orthodox close back in, you are praying for a backside test to get this launched back up. And once you have that trap back in, you can also see what that same trap looks like on the 15-minute, because it is right here at 57.85. It's this 15-minute bar is what traps us back in. Backside test and go. And I want to discuss this because I ranted a little bit on Friday morning. I'm having a hard time with that close back into, and I'm having to work on it, make extenuous notes and examples so I don't blow it, right? Even though I know the process, I don't have it muscle memorized in correctly, and so I'm working it. I have this part down, I don't have this part down, and I'm working tirelessly on it, I assure you, okay? And both figuring out how to algo it and also which algos to run, okay? So if you look at that, and now you come back to your algo chart, right? What we are looking for here, is the green bar up. Now this is, hold on, trapped over here. So 57.85. There we go. So this is the definitive above that 57.85 trap. You'll see that the pre-market IB low was 57.86. We broke it, we trapped, and you are looking for your green bars up and your yellow dots up. Okay, one occurred at 8.53, one occurred at 8.45, and that for me was an absolute fail because I felt I absolutely should have had those longs there, and I did not. So that explains the ES portion of how to garner the longs, and you obviously would have ended up with a very, very, very nice day. Okay, the part that will now we're going to do NQ. That'll be the last part here. So we are currently at 13 minutes, and this will probably take another 13 minutes, right? So I want to show you what it looked like on NQ so you can figure it out. I trade a lot of NQ. I find it offers a great risk reward. So, hold on a second. Here's someone texted me, but I do not know. I'm not going to worry about it because I do not know where my phone is. No big deal. Okay, so on NQ, I want to show you that exact same long. Right? Here was my hourly, right? And I pointed this out in the market preview. I had a level of 20.81, 28.21 and a quarter. That was this right here, guys. I'm not doing anything magical. They tried to sell here, they failed, and they launched it. Okay? Same thing here. They tried to push below this 27.57 and a quarter, and then finally my prime place would have been to get a close below 26.93. You need to remember this area, because below 28.21, we already know we have responsive buyers, and if we can push a little bit further, we'll take out all the stops down at 26.93.50, and we will probably get a beautiful rally back to the upside, right? And below that, you have a big river to cross because your next major level is 2398.50 to 2375. Okay, so the first thing I know is that 2821 1/4. That my trap, and I got a physical. So you'll see that it traded below. They tried to jump it. They get a physical close below, pressed back in. Then they closed above 2821 1/4 for the trap, for the run to the upside. So we can just jump right to the 24 tick. Since the market was moving fast, this was fine. Why isn't this carrying over? So this is chart number 8. There we go. So now I'm sitting here in the morning, right? And I'm looking for two things. First of all, I want to trade underneath this level. So look how the algos did as you traded underneath this level. Go look. Green bar up, minor scalp. Green bar up, minor scalp. White bar, yellow dot, and purple dot. Beautiful push to the upside. Yellow dot stuff just below 20.75 3/4. That is just picture perfect. And then right before 7:30, you get green bar up. Those are, guys, those are all algos that are on process. I'm not making up anything new in this process, right? And now where's our trap? Well, our trap is, where do I start? A 5-minute close, right? A 5-minute close above 2821 1/4. So I want to show you that. Here's my 5-minute chart. Here's 2821 1/4. I won't go through setting up the chart. I'll do that later, but it is roughly. Oh, what do you know? Right there. That's 80, 20, 821 1/4. 5-minute bar closes above at 8:15. You are now trapped. Backside test. That backside test, it runs from 8:22 all the way up to 2170, which is 922, 122, 250 points, pretty much in a straight line, right? Yes, I'm learning to capture those trades. I do not, that's not my area of specialty. My area of specialty is scalping, but I'm going to and will be better at this. So if I look from where we're trapped, right, and I go back to look at that 821, so it's this right here, right? That's the 2821. And lo and behold, we already know this is the 5-minute bar that shuts back in. Green bar up, off you go to the races. And if you look at each of your subsequent green bars up, right, and yellow dots up, yellow dot up, yellow dot stuffed, yellow dot up, yellow dot stopped, yellow dot up paid, yellow dot up paid, yellow dot up paid, yellow dot up paid, yellow dot up paid. So for me, that is the area I'm focusing on this weekend to get better wins and more money out of the market this week. We have a great process team. Keep repeating. My next video, which I will do later today, will be how I use those wicks on the 15-minute and 1 hour to get better location on my trades for intraday scalps. And that'll be the next video. Please leave me feedback and hit the like button on YouTube. It really helps. Okay, I will talk to you later, guys. Have a great day. Oh, and if you want to get a hold of me, it's trade and perform, TRADE, the letter N, perform at gmail.com.